Hey everybody, welcome to This Just In. Once again, today we're doing another reading from right to left. But I got a fresh new face panel here for you guys. Because the last group is still recovering from the reading we did last time. And if you haven't checked it out, you should go check it out because we read Paws Off My Cannons, and this was pretty crazy, this book. But today, my guests I have from Better Than Ember, I have Ember, as well as AJ from Ways to Human, and everyone's favorite Kentucky atheist, the Kentucky atheist, Joe. How you guys doing today?
Right.
Surviving the United States.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? It's a terrible sentence to say, but it's accurate. Surviving the United States.
So far.
Um, Trump is throwing a tantrum. He didn't get his peace prize today, huh? You guys see that yet?
It's weird how demanding a peace prize and threatening violence doesn't get you the peace prize. Who could imagine? Never could have guessed.
I love that it went to a woman in Latin America. That's gotta have
Venezuela,
stung really
even of
bad.
all places.
Yeah, I think it's even wild that Trump's upset he didn't get a peace prize while actively sending troops into Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, and all those.
Or murdering innocent Venezuelans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you know he's trying to end the wars?
Yeah.
He's trying to get to 10. He's at 8. He needs 10.
Did you see my Prime Minister Mark Carney visiting him in the White House and saying things like, "We just saved 100,000 Canadian lives because we blew up some boats in Venezuela"?
I didn't catch that part. I caught the part where he was making fun of trans people in front of Mark Carney, who has a trans child.
I got that part too. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like literally like the same breath. It was like if you rewind another like minute or two, he was going on about how he saved 100,000 Canadian lives blowing up a boat.
Amazing. Superpowers.
You could tell Carney was just staring him down like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I wish he would have said it.
How difficult it must be for these world leaders to come sit beside Trump with J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio sitting there and to just hear the crazy things that he's going to say and try not to react with, just telling him like, what is wrong with you? It must take a lot. Those leaders got there for a reason, I guess.
It's statesmanship. Because, somebody like me, I'd be like, clearly we're doing Jerry Springer show in the US now. You're full of shit and I'm throwing a chair at you.
Also, it is just actually politics, right? It's like actual politicians from other countries coming to the US with their politician hat on, sitting next to someone who isn't doing politics at all. They're just running amok and throwing tantrums and being a child.
It makes the theater part obvious.
Yeah, it's what he does best. He's like a reality TV show, actor. That's what he does.
Well, that's a perfect segue. Let's do our own little version of some tantrum throwing reality TV show here, where I am going to read some right wing propaganda in the form of a children's book. This is very interesting in one sense. In another sense, it's very cringe. And this particular book today is going to be a little bit hard for me to read, but we're going to go for it here. What I don't know what to do, and I'm going to ask you guys before we get started here, is what do I do with these books afterwards? Because on the one hand, I'm very much not for destroying books.
Mm-hmm.
Yet on the other hand, I don't want to donate these back because I bought them used. So first of all, I'm not directly supporting the authors. I bought them used. But I also don't want to put them back out there for someone else to pick up. Do I just put them in the bottom of a cardboard box and like bury it in my garage somewhere? Or like, what do I do with these after?
Toxic waste storage. Oh my. You could recycle them like a used phone book.
A phone book?
Do you still have phone books in Canada?
What's a phone book?
Okay, that answers that.
Oh, you mean those old-fashioned Google machines?
That's like a 90s thing.
I'm old.
No, you keep those things because they later on down the road, you can look at those things and say, this is the time that we lived in when this was acceptable. And when people just publicly did this as part of a political movement or whatever, and the hate and stuff that went on. I mean, even though everything to do with Nazi Germany, we try to, not keep mementos and stuff for it, but we absolutely don't want to forget that those things happened.
I was just thinking along similar lines, thinking of shows like, Antique Roadshow or whatever. How much does Nazi memorabilia sell for? Like the little
Yes.
mementos, the time the fascists basically won temporarily. And well, it's round two.
I was thinking of turning it into something more positive if I could. So one idea I had was maybe ship it to you guys. So send it to Ember, for example, and then Ember picks a page, writes a blurb why this particular page is absolute trash, and put a little signature on there, sign it, and then send it along to AJ, and then send it along to Joe, and just keep writing in the book with like a big black Sharpie and just explaining why this
Oh,
is
sure.
propaganda and garbage. And then I'll donate it.
Sharpies make it more true.
I
Yeah.
love that because the irony of this is that books that show pornography, aka anything LGBTQ, are being removed from libraries in the U.S. But then you have this kind of book, and they're probably totally okay with having that in schools, right? So like at least send it with some extra notes.
Yeah, I think it could be cool.
There's a very important thing to consider here. We keep these old historical slave houses and stuff in the United States. We make historical landmarks out of these places, and
Until
we
we burn
don't
them
do
down.
that to celebrate those things. By understanding what went on now, and that we were able to overcome it eventually, when we do, because we will, that we overcome these things. You keep the memory of those to show that we did that, and that we were better than that, at least at this time. And the opposite of this, though, is an authoritarian movement that would erase these things from history so that nobody knows the awful atrocities that they committed against their own people. So that's the difference between the two. They would have these things erased. We keep them so that we remember that thing that happened, and try not to repeat it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, with that, why don't we check out what is in this book? Now, remember, I'm going to read this to you guys like this was just standard bedtime story time. And at the end of it, I'm going to ask my panel to either guess the title of the book or give it a title. It's completely up to you what you want to call it. All right, so here we go. Which means I'm not going to be starting off with the title of this book. So there's a town they called Tok. It's a town that's a home to all sorts of folk. At the top of the hill is a big white pine. It's buzzing, it's hopping all of the time.
Okay, pretty simple intro. Good
Yeah.
so far.
Yep. To most of the animals, Tok felt like heaven, but not to one elephant whose name was Kevin. Most elephants love it when the clock hit noon, but to Kevin, noon came far too soon. That's when elephants pull carts up and down, delivering supplies all over town. I don't mind the carrying or bringing, but personally, I prefer to be singing.
Slave labor.
Well, I mean, no, there's no indication necessarily of that, I guess. I mean,
He wants to be
just,
singing, but he has to carry the cart.
I can see parallels, but it isn't like a one-to-one thing. It's like I'm gonna sing the gospel music while I'm out in the fields picking the cotton.
you know what? I didn't read it that way. I kind of thought when I read the line that, like, when the clock hit noon, that it was like it was lunchtime or whatever, and I didn't really see it as a. Um,
Yeah, it is. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that, but it's not ruled out either.
It's one possible meaning.
yeah, it definitely does bring forward this like you have to work hard kind of mentality, though, right? Like, normally in a children's book, the characters might just be playing with their friends or something like that. But this is a team of elephants working hard.
But so I'm a little confused because does that mean that at noon he starts working? Because why would he not like noon arriving if that means that he stops working?
You know what? It is saying that it's time to pull the carts at noon, and the other elephants can't wait for noon because they love to pull the carts. But our main
Okay.
character here would rather be singing
Well,
than
why
pulling
doesn't he
carts.
sing in the morning? I mean, you can sing while you pull a cart.
In
I
fact,
didn't.
it's illustrated here to be singing while they pull the cart.
It's a
Right.
metaphor
Right.
for towing the line.
Yeah. Does anyone else here already notice a character on these pages?
There's that big old vulture looking critter.
Yeah, a vulture is a character. Let's move on. A vulture named Culture was
Of course.
seeing and stalking until, with the grin, he started his squawking. Oh my, what a lovely sound. Why are you carrying these carts around? Your singing is the best I've heard. Surely, oh surely, you must be a bird. Ha ha ha, that's so very funny. I'm as much a bird as you are a bunny.
Wow.
Is anyone here a fan of vulture named Culture?
I'm guessing he's like the devil.
It's so deep. I mean, it's on the surface level personification. Like if you took the concept of the culture and then you made it in, it's not, well, it's an anthropomorphication of a personification. It doesn't matter. Anyway, culture is a vulture. It will tell you what you want to hear and then drive you to the edge and pick your bones clean because it's a vulture. It's a carrion eater. It only looks for the whole thing about how awful culture is, and it will lie to you. You're not very good, but also the racism. Like, oh, you must be not just some worker elephant, but you must secretly be a bird like me, the superior race. Fucking hell.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I agree with Ember. They're demonizing culture here, and it's not said, but it's implied your culture. That's the thing that they're clearly building up to here. They've created a villain, and it's the personification of our culture because they disagree, I guess.
Yeah, who wants to be cultured, right? It's terrible.
Yeah, culture, don't trust culture. It's like you were getting it. It's sort of like Satan. It's the tempter, but it's not our way. That's the worldly ways. We need to stay in our churches and our communities and keep the world out because that'll lead us to destruction. And this story will show you how. It's a modern Bible story. It's not an Aesop's fable. It's a Sodom and Gomorrah,
Yeah.
but kid friendly,
Okay.
probably.
Wow, okay.
Maybe.
I didn't think we were going to get to there with it, but all right.
Excellent take.
All I had was like a really bad joke about, I was just trying to figure out something about this vulture's right wing being a little bit stronger than its left wing or something. I don't know.
I think both of his wings look pretty shitty.
Also, I don't know how a cane works on a flying creature, but there you go.
I was wondering what that is. Like, is it supposed to be a shepherd's crook? Like, I will show you the way to go, because
Oh,
it
you know
doesn't make
what?
sense.
Another good pull. Yeah, you know what? It's probably not necessarily a cane, but it's more like a get
Staff.
over here thing. You laugh, said Culture, but what would you rather, sing songs or carry carts of food that's been gathered? It is true that I really love to sing. Maybe being a bird is actually my thing.
It's sheep that they're referring to, by the way. It's he's the shepherd, they're the sheep. Culture is supposed to be absorbing the sheep here, and the other stuff is just they used a different animal.
I think they're having this vulture sort of affirm the elephant that he can be anything he wants to be.
That seems to be the direction it's going.
Yeah.
Like, you can just choose to be whatever you want to be. I mean, you've been hearing it your whole life. You can be anything you want when you grow up. Maybe that's more literal than you ever dreamed of.
Yeah, at this stage, like, if there was no priming from me as to what we were going to be doing here today, right up until even including this point, it's pretty benign, but we know better because of the nature of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right, Culture squawked. It's whatever you feel. It's only your feelings that show what's real.
There it is.
Now is the time. Let your bird life commence. It's the only thing that seems to make sense. Here's what you need: a beak and some wings. Take them. A bird needs these things. Yeah, it's
So
no longer totally benign
so
anymore.
so they're drawing the picture here of the cart in the background and the work not getting done and things not able to happen because the elephant is feeling uh, what is it? It's only your feelings that show what is real. It's trying to say that the things aren't being accomplished, and here culture will give you whatever you want to feel. They'll confirm your feelings, whatever they are. But it's obviously a misrepresentation of how people and culture actually are.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little triggering now and really really awkward.
Oh
Um,
yeah, some pretty blatant dog whistles in there.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, you could there's so much we could do hours on this sort of stuff, but it's ultimately it boils down to there's the overt obvious dog whistle. Just put on this costume and you'll be the thing you're pretending to be, because that's how everyone does it. Look at me, I'm not a real bird, I'm just wearing a better costume or something. But it's that more insidious underlying layer of everyone who isn't true, who is part of the culture, is just pretending. The doctor, he doesn't know medicine. He just put on a stethoscope and he's pretending. Don't trust him, especially about vaccines. That sort of thing.
now that you bring it up, you just like brought something to light for me too. Is that the elephant made a choice here? Where that's not how that works, right? Like it's not like the elephant, in reality, if you're gay or trans or whatever, that's who you are. It's not something that you wake up and go, you know what, today I'm thinking I'm going to be this today.
Right. A more accurate way to put it, and again, they have no interest in accuracy with the Brave Books Corporation, but
Yeah.
it'd be more like if the elephant were dressed as a vulture and someone's like, you don't have to pretend to be a vulture anymore, you can just be an elephant, I can see you're an elephant, just be an elephant. And that's more what it's like, I mean, how we as we record this, National Coming Out Day is in just a couple of days. That's what it's for, is you can take the mask off and stop pretending to be straight or stop pretending to be cis and actually be who you really are.
The implied thing here is that you're just dressing up and pretending to be something you're not, and
Yeah.
we'll accept what you feel, but you're just an elephant wearing wings. That you're still an elephant. You're not a bird. That's the thing they're trying to push through here.
I also, as someone who teaches for a living and is very much always on guard for AI generated content from my students, this book is very clearly ChatGPT. There's so many indications.
I was
Uh,
thinking about the elephant's leg right now.
no, I don't. I don't mean the illustrations. The illustrations are probably the art is actually done by somebody. I'm talking the story itself. I can tell you that I can see all kinds of clues to it being, at the very least, spell checked and corrected in ChatGPT or some kind of AI.
Amazing.
I think the art is very intentional.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of symbolism here, like how
Yeah,
the big ivory tower on the hill is across the bridge. They had to get away from the academic. I mean, they even called it a it's clearly not white, but they called it a pine earlier. And the village is in a different direction, so the tower is apart from the common people. But for the temptation of our savior, we have to go out apart from civilization also. We're across the bridge and down the road, and this is where the culture makes its approach.
On that second page there, the page with the vulture, you see there's the line with the colon and then there's the hyphen as well. That's like to me a clear indication of AI generation because
Yeah.
real people don't write like that.
no,
Mhm. I know I keep seeing them all the time on, like, there's one person that I follow that posts like really long posts all the time, but there's like hyphens everywhere. And I'm like, yeah, that's just all chat GPT.
With my wings in their place, I begin a new day. With beauty and grace, I sing on my way. I'm now a fine birdie. So where do I start? I guess I'll eat seeds. That feels right in my heart.
This is gross.
It's so bioessentialist. It's like, but you're actually an elephant. The different birds there, and then the gopher guy. Like everybody's role in life is determined exclusively by what they are, and it's
Oh, that's an
so
amazing point I didn't catch either, too. Yeah, the animals in this story are all doing things that those animals would be technically charged with, right? We've got the mole who's a miner, we've got the birds who are delivery people, and elephants pulling heavy carts. It's like it is got some serious racist undertones in here, doesn't it?
They also let here's the thing that bothers me. And this, I mean, whatever, it pisses me off. To be honest, is what they've done here is now you're a bird, and but the illustration is to make this elephant look silly for thinking he's a bird, and
Yeah, and
and
even the
and
mole is laughing at him. The
yes,
birds are in shock.
to say you look stupid for being what you want to be because you're not that thing. You're this other thing that we say you are, and this is gross and awful.
Do you know what I noticed also? It seems like what Trump is always saying. They're giving school children surgeries, right? And this seems like temptation. Like they're using culture as the temptation, and that anyone is gonna be turned trans just for being exposed to trans people. Just the way that they were all, the gays are gonna turn everybody gay and stuff like that.
Oh
And it
man,
seems
that's a
like,
good pull, AJ. Yeah, I didn't even really catch that.
all
Well
of
done.
that,
yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. But the
great.
fucked up thing is like what taking what AJ just said, what child, like if you go up to a little boy who is a cis boy and you say, hey, I think you should be a girl. Do you want to be a girl? What fucking cis boy is going to say, "Oh yes, I would love to be," if a child actually did? Like maybe it's time to take him to a gender counselor because there's something going on there, you know?
Yeah, it's not contagious.
Yeah, it's not contagious, and the parallels here don't really work either, right? The idea that the elephant that just likes to sing, well, you need to be a bird if you want to sing. Like, doesn't really make
Well,
sense.
they have the other animals looking at the elephant in either surprise or disgust or whatever. The one with its hand over its mouth. I mean that they're ridiculing. This is I find it hard to believe they put this in a book. It's just this is awful.
Do you think the undertone messaging here would be missed by a child completely, or do you think this already at this stage would have some damage to a kid?
Well, if I was reading it as a child, that so far I will be like, oh, it's encouraging you to be who you want to be. But I imagine that it's going to be getting worse.
There's an interesting question. Where is it going?
It's,
Where is it gonna end up?
they buried the lead,
Yeah.
but not very deep.
Because there's always a lot of adult content in, no, I'm not talking about like, sexual
Adult.
stuff, but like undertones that adults will understand, but children wouldn't. And you see it in movies and children's movies and children's shows and children's books. And I think that's what they're kind of doing here. They're putting content that is above what a child will think about, like all the stuff that we're breaking down, like the temptation part, and like the all of the stuff you guys have mentioned so far. And I don't think a child will be able to reason and understand all of that necessarily, until the messaging gets a little bit deeper, which I imagine again is probably, I can think where this is gonna go, but I'm not gonna say.
I think it's more simple than that. I think it's just don't be a silly elephant. Don't that's what they're saying. Don't be a silly elephant. You are whatever you are born as. You are the thing that you are and what we say you are. And don't be a silly elephant and say you're something different.
Yeah,
That's where they're going.
the irony is that it ultimately boils down to the culture, as in the civilization you live in, dictates who you get to be based on what you are. If you're a woman, sorry, your job is to pump out children and nothing else. Be silent, make sandwiches, and have babies. That's just that. But it's culture that does that. It's actual cult. It's the civilizational custom. That's all that is. But oh my goodness, there's so much to it. So first of all, AJ, you're right. A lot of this, remember, children don't buy children's books. It's performative. It's supposed to resonate with the MAGA people and be like, oh, this is my truth. This is the truth I think is true. And so I will buy this book for my children or grandchildren. But also, it's performative in nature, right? Like the reason these books exist is because MAGA is upset about drag time story hour, drag queens reading books and saying, children, what does this, we read this page, what does it mean? Much like we're doing now. These are designed to be presented in front of groups of children, page by page. What's happening? What does it mean? What do you think about this character? That sort of stuff. It's supposed to be a presentation. And then you also take copies home and all that crap.
So Kevin tried to peck a seed, but his beak wouldn't grip. Maybe seeds aren't a need. So that part I'll skip. He tried building a nest, but his twigs wouldn't stay. He had failed this new test. Who needs nests anyway? I actually kind of want to know where you guys think this story ends. Like, what's the thing that's going to. How does this story end?
He's going to try to fly because that's the ultimate thing of bird essence is the ability to fly. And he'll jump off a cliff and break his tusks or something.
Hurt himself. Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna be that there's gonna be some harm to the elephant, and so the lesson is gonna be, well, don't be like Joe said, don't be a silly elephant that wants to be something that he's not. Like, stay an elephant because that's what the Lord created you as.
I think there's a lot of psychology tricks going on right now with this. The idea that if you don't perform perfectly at the tasks of who you say you are or what you say you are, then somehow you shouldn't be that thing, and that you should just give up on that thing because obviously you can't do the things that the thing you're trying to be can do. And it's to ridicule those things and to socially exile people who do these things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, look at the surrounding imagery and the message it presents, right? Like on the first page, we've got the chicken who is an actual bird and can, pick up seeds, watching the elephant and doing like a like it's cringe. It's embarrassment on the
Yeah.
elephant's behalf, but the chicken isn't saying anything. And then, and the other thing with the nest, why is he building a nest in the middle of the road? Who knows? But like everyone's watching and they're like, what is happening? It's everyone's being judgmental and you're making a fool of yourself by trying these things that aren't for you. It's very laden with that disapproval. Everyone will think you're ridiculous and be laughing at you.
Yeah, the other mole and the bird up in the sky across from the chicken, they're both just, yeah, judging. They're looking at it and judging and being like, "Why are you so dumb?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
We haven't even got to the worst part of this yet, and I would already consider this to be borderline child abuse to give this to children. Honestly, I mean,
yeah,
this is bad.
I was actively just thinking of like, I wonder if I could put all of the images, the art from this book into ChatGPT and rewrite the narrative, bring it out more positively. Could be fun, but let's get to the next page and see what happens to Kevin. Being a bird is tough. I thought it'd be easy. It's rougher than rough. Frankly, not breezy. There's one more thing to test if it's true. I'll jump and then fly like most birds do. So
Right, because all
called
birds
it.
jump to fly.
Yeah,
Ember called it."
that and the idea is that this elephant is going to try to fly like a bird in front of everyone that's there at the tree, and in the middle of town is going to say I'm a bird and going to be made a fool of and laughed at and ridiculed for even trying such a thing. You should be an elephant and pull the cart. That's what elephants do.
I do appreciate the gay representation.
Oh, where do you see that? The gay representation, you said?
Yeah, I appreciate the gay representation because there's the two roosters that are hanging out and being besties.
Oh, you're right.
Because like that's the roosters have the doodly thing on the top of their head.
So I noticed at the bottom there's two animals. I think it's a dog and maybe a duck, and they look like they're pointing at the elephant.
Do you guys think that they're pointing to a little bit of like the elephant maybe having a little mental illness as well? Because I feel like whenever I picture somebody who's trying to be Superman, for example, and jump off their roof, they're usually not all there. And I kind of feel like it's the same situation here with the elephant, right? The elephant's got to know that flying's not going to be a thing.
Well, take the totality of the story up until now. Culture has given you this, is what it's. Culture has given the elephant this, and the elephant is being made fun of, and this is the danger of accepting that culture. That I think that's the deeper thing up to this point, anyway.
Yeah, and I think it goes to show like they're not understanding biological sex versus gender, right? They're using the elephant as the example that he cannot biologically become a bird, and no trans person is saying that ever, right? Like you
It
don't
kind
think you,
of touches in that direction. There's a bit of like,
yeah,
if I were a real bird, I should be able to lay eggs. If I were a real woman, I should be able to have babies. And it's just that's not what anyone is saying.
Yeah,
Like specifically trans people are very acutely aware of biology. That's why there's HRT and things because
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. But that's a whole other that's the overt layer, but the underlying layer is culture will give you wings, but they're not real.
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. You can want to be a bird and everything, but if you go do it publicly, you're going to be ridiculed and made a fool of. That's uh, you're going to be attacked. Essentially, is what I think I'm getting from it anyway.
I also enjoy that the bear is a baker. Like how many bears do you know that like that's not a thing bears by like you can have a legit elephant can actually pull a cart. A bird can actually sing. If we're all about biological reality, show me the bear that can bake. Like, what is
yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
That was actually the character that I was pointing to earlier about how like the mole is a miner and all of these things are like they fit the I guess the animal's skill set, and then we've got a bear that bakes pizza.
Yeah.
It's random. Like
Yeah.
why is he not a fisherman or something?
oh yeah, that would be way better,
A
smart.
toilet paper salesman.
Big Bear, though busy with baking and brewing, was totally baffled. What's Kevin doing? Kevin was climbing the big white pine, gripping each branch. I know I'll be fine. Step by step, seeking to reach the high summit. Because I have wings, I know I won't plummet.
The wings that culture gives you are fake.
Anyone else triggered by the
Yeah.
big white pine?
Yeah, when you said it on the very first line, in the very first page, I was like, white pine, got it.
I think it's a metaphor for like public for being out in the open in the social group, climbing to the top of this and being seen by everyone. The top of the pond is supposed to be the place where everyone can see the elephant and see. I imagine what's going to be a failure.
It's invoking Icarus, right? It's like
Yes.
I've got these wings and I'm trying to go as high as I can and it'll be great. Everyone will tell stories about me for generations to come, which in Icarus's case is actually true. But you know,
Well, here's my point on it. I feel like they're really reaching because
Oh yeah.
with the white pine. This is why the white pine bothers me so much. First of all, I'm Canadian. I know what a pine looks like. It's the only thing
Mhm.
green for 6 months of the year here. That's not a picture of a pine.
No.
Mm-hmm.
That's like some giant oak. right? And it would have to be that big for there to actually be an active pizzeria inside of it. It would have to be a huge
Ran
oak.
by a bear.
But rather than picture a pine tree, but they have to use a white pine, right? Because that would be the only thing that would be white, I guess.
Well, there
'Cause-
are white oaks, but they're also very stupid. Like, that's a fundamental aspect of MAGA. They don't read books normally. Like, they're very dumb. And
'cause-
that's a performative thing too, is you have to show that you don't know the facts, that you're calling it a pine, but it's actually an oak, that sort of thing, because you have to call attention to the fact that you are yourself not an expert. You're ignorant about positively everything. And that's why you can be trusted.
to call back to the last video we did of reading from right to left with the pause off my cannon, there was something in this story that was almost just as like out of place. Was the diet of the people in the town was cupcakes. This is all the people in the town ate was cupcakes. Here's what didn't make sense: the town they lived in was a mushroom village, so it was like they were always eating cupcakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they lived in a mushroom village. Like, why wouldn't you live on like Icing Peak or something? Like, the world building is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens to Kevin next, shall we? So this page is just him screaming and falling, and the branch breaks, and now and we suddenly have a giraffe that's wearing a sweater, which is kind of weird.
As one does.
Yeah, and monkeys in the same forest with bears and beavers.
So the tree
Legit.
itself is. Oh wait, you got to turn sideways to see it. I see. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't feel like
Yeah.
turning it sideways, but like it looks like this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And it's like really in your face, like the entire page. It's like, well, he failed. He failed because he's not really a bird. He's.
Because gravity works, apparently sideways in Brave Books land, but okay.
Kevin slumped down, feeling upset. His head hung as low as could get. I don't know, that sentence read weird for me. While Kevin was sulking, he smelled something smoking. The big white pine with fire was choking.
Because they put an oven in the tree.
That damn bear.
That's a twist. I was not expecting that twist.
Well, with that twist, what do you think's going to happen next?
The tree's gonna
Well,
burn down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the fire. That was random. Like, why are they burning the fire? The white pine.
Kevin's disruption,
Yes.
for some reason, will cause about the destruction of white civilization itself.
Yes, that's it. You're not a bird, and your silly antics to pretend to be a bird has caused the downfall of society, which is the
Wow.
white pine. Yes.
That's a good point. That's a good point because he
White.
distracted the bear. He distracted the bear, and everybody was looking up to see if he could fly, and he forgot the stuff in the stove and caused the fire. But it's all the elephant's fault. Because it's just like with everything, right? It's all the trans people's fault.
Yeah.
I also want to just point out the goat that can walk on two legs and be a farmer. Like, so, is this goat having the same story?
Interesting.
He's always
Wasn't
happy.
he something else in it? It doesn't matter.
Let's see what's next then. Let's see what your predictions, if they'll hold up. We need a strong animal to lift heavy weight. Someone gray with stout legs and a trunk would be great. Then in the window, Kevin saw his reflection and noticed his size and big gray complexion.
I mean, the bear could lift heavy things.
Right. Yeah. Look, if you look at the size, he just spoke about his own size, and like the bear is depicted as the similar size, and the giraffe is even taller. Well, I don't know about their strong legs, but the bear should be able to do that anyway. So now, yeah, I'm guessing where this is going is like, well, Kevin realized he was not a bird. It's like deconversion. That was his deconversion therapy, I guess.
Yeah. This is you need to be who it is we say you are in order to save white society here, or or it's all going to burn down. If you don't see
Mm.
yourself as the elephant you are, and save us by being who you are, who we say you are, then everything's going to burn.
Yeah.
Once Kevin realized he was a Republican, he saved white society. It's the
I didn't even
Republicans that
catch
are
that.
here to save white civilization.
I didn't even catch that. The character is an elephant, Republican. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
The
Yeah, you're
pachyderm
right.
imagery is strong with this one.
And he's gonna save the white pine.
The big white pine.
The biggest, a very bigly pine,
Yep.
very white.
Nobody's
We're
ever
gonna build
seen
the
a bigger
biggest
pine.
pine. The bears will pay for it.
Somebody told me, they said, "Sir, that's the biggest pine, the biggest, strongest pine."
Silly me. The beak stops the use of my trunk. The right choice, I see, is to get rid of this junk. Kevin took action. His town was in peril, so he sprayed water from a water-filled barrel. Again, that word choice sneaks in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you be who we say you are, and help society, or your antics of pretending to be something else destroys society.
Yeah.
And it's a choice you have to make.
But listen, somebody brought those water barrels there right next to the tree. And the
Uh-huh.
fire is like at the bottom of the tree inside the trunk. Why couldn't the bird just lift it and pour it over the fire and done?
Well, Kevin had to bring the cart that carries the barrels of water.
Oh, okay, you're right. I see it in the back.
I think this is more a message of
Good.
fire safety. Someone should have been paying attention to this kitchen.
I was just thinking, not pictured here is the liberal llama who's saying, why doesn't this bear have a fire extinguisher if he's running a kitchen inside a tree?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
You
Oh.
failed, Smokey.
Phew! The fire's put out. Hooray, hooray. It was Kevin the elephant who saved the day. Thank you, oh thank you, the grateful bear said. If it weren't for you, we'd all be dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin the elephant. Very
So
emphasized.
this page for me, another little like if there was a B message on top of the obvious like anti-trans messaging here, the B message here is the same stupid bullshit I hear all the time. Like, what if the whole world was gay? There would be no more people having babies and things, right? Because apparently Kevin was the only elephant, which we know isn't true because there was other elephants earlier in the story.
Uh-huh.
The only way babies can be born is from missionary sex
Obviously, clearly,
After marriage.
with your wife.
it's the only method that works.
That's right. Babies born out of wedlock just they simply don't exist. I don't
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the only way that they come to exist is through marriage and missionary sex.
So I'm not crazy then. Like that is there's a subtle undertone here of like if everybody was a bird, we'd have no elephants
Well, it applies to many
and
things.
we'd all be dead.
That's why it's culture that gave the wings to Kevin here, because it applies to all those things. It's not just a transphobia thing, although that is what's front and center here. The idea that culture can tell you can be something other than what you are. No, do your job, toe the line, and we will have a successful society. If you don't, it'll all burn down.
And also, like, the Walter represents not just culture, but the people that the trans people that are trying to convince you to be trans, that are trying to drag you, into the trans agenda.
Oh, AJ's
Culture
reading into
says
the
it's all
future
right, but
here.
reality says it's not. Is what I think they're going for there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think culture's finished yet. We're not done
No.
our story.
Uh-oh.
Mm.
Culture flew down from out of the sky. So Kevin, did your wings help you fly? Zip it, culture. I'm not listening to you. I am most free when I trust what is true. I am an elephant. That's plain to see. From this point on, I'll enjoy being me. There's a couple of lines here that trigger me, but I'll let you guys go first.
I don't even know where to start.
You can tell who you are just by looking at the body God gave you.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's just solidifying their biblical idea that God doesn't make any mistakes. That, if you were born as an elephant, then there's nothing else you can be. Like, obviously, nobody's saying elephants are gonna turn into any other animal, but
You've never seen a dog come from a non-dog.
Oh God. so flashbacks. So there's this dark evil culture that this villainous culture that's going to tell you you can be these things, and you should dismiss that and be the thing that you were born to be. Because society is only going to flourish if you do that. If you accept that culture, that evil culture that's telling you you can do these things, then you're going to destroy society by doing it. White pine society.
Yeah. For me, the very first line on that second page of "Zip it culture, I'm not listening to you," um,
Yeah,
instantly kind of just shuts down the lines of communication. Right? It's basically saying ignore anyone um, that you don't agree with. You don't need to talk to them, and that's probably one of the biggest real problems right now.
Mhm.
And in the very next line, I am most free when I trust what is true. That
that's the
word
one.
of true is just triggering for me here.
yeah,
It's,
Yeah, for me, it just takes you to the Bible. Again, like,
yeah.
nothing is true if it doesn't come from the Bible, which, funny because, knowing you were going to be reading children's story, I pulled up a Bible that was given to my kid, which is like baby stories almost. They're just like one page Bible stories.
Oh man, I want to read that one next.
Yeah,
I'll go buy
it's
that one
pretty
next.
crazy. Yeah, so I'm like, damn, like they really start them young, and seeing how these books were, it doesn't necessarily tell you, but you can see it in the undertones in that part. But, well, I won't trust. I'm sorry, I am most free when I trust what is true, and it's basically saying that the only truth is whatever God created you as.
Yeah, how do you know what's true? Don't listen to culture, don't listen to other people, but how do you know what's true? If only there were some authority that could reveal the truth to us or something.
Yeah,
Or it's the simpler version, the I already know what's best, so I'm not listening to anyone. Mm-mm.
yeah. I mean, the last line here isn't so terrible if you take it into a different context, right? Just enjoy being you, right? Enjoy being me, but don't deny who you are either, because that's not healthy.
And to bring it back to the slave thing, because we can't ignore the slave thing. They literally said that to the slaves. You're an African descended person. Your role, your God given purpose on this earth is to be an enslaved person. Just enjoy being who you are.
yeah. You're inferior. Accept it.
Yeah, Ember just brought it right back to the last page of the story, even.
Oh
I
no.
was right from the first. Tricky culture was funny. I'm no more bird than he is a bunny. My life is not just about how I feel. I can sing as an elephant. That is what is real. And then that sad elephant in the middle who's just dying.
He looks,
I know.
yeah.
He's so happy to be an elephant. Oh my goodness. It's such a joyful life of labor and thanklessness and it's but like, yes, you could sing in the first place. That's how you knew you loved singing. Holy shit.
The complaint at the beginning of the book was that the elephant had to wait to sing. My understanding was that the elephant couldn't sing while he was working.
But
So,
now he is.
but now he
Yeah.
is. This is just really gross what they're trying to do here. I uh, I have spoken very publicly about uh, things that are given to children as teaching materials and the indoctrination of children with silly, awful ideas, such as AIG does. And this is much worse than a lot of that. What they're trying to do here, I believe this is one of the most awful pieces of material to be given to children that I've seen in a while, and I've seen a lot of bad. I have homeschooling materials from AIG, so it's much worse than that.
Yeah, AIG is up front, whereas this is just propaganda. It's layers of propaganda.
This is very, very, very harmful to children.
Right, like at least with children's Bible books, you can have an expectation of what's gonna be in them because we've already read the Bible, so we know okay they're gonna sanitize and shorten the stories uh, to make them palatable to children. But this right here, it's like it's insidious, but at the same time, it's pretty blatantly clear what they're trying to do, what they're trying to say, what the messaging is. And as Ember said, it's not just something that you read to your kids as a bedtime story. It's something that they probably read in groups, and they go through the content and they go through the messaging and make sure that the kid is understanding what they're trying to say. I mean, like if you put the first page and the last page, the whole entire middle part was completely unnecessary. Like Elephant was struggling because he couldn't sing. Now he can sing. End of story. They could have avoided the whole entire uh, throwing trans people under the bus thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. That's where it backfires because, like all right-wing messaging, it is at its core fundamentally incompetent because it's built on lies. It cannot tell a true story. Look at what actually happened from just a straight narrative perspective. Kevin was unhappy. He explored his substitute for gender. In the process, he saved the fucking town, and now he's happy with who he is. Neither of those would have happened if he hadn't explored who he is.
Yeah.
Oops.
Absolutely. I'm interested in what right wing group of fucking Nazi publishers published this.
So it's from a company called Brave Books, and
Oh,
So
right.
brave.
do you know who owns Brave Books?
Kirk, isn't it?
Kirk Cameron.
Oh,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
And the
Makes
books
sense.
don't technically end there, because there's extra pages in the back for like activities and games.
Bonus content.
Can we see it?
So like this first game is called the Brave Challenge, and it says, "Welcome, Brave. Your mission for this Brave Challenge is to defend Tokitok from Culture, the Vulture. To get
Yeah.
started, grab a sheet of paper and a pencil and draw a scoreboard title Culture versus Brave Cadets." Like the one
Wow.
shown here, and then it goes on to, while the cadets are creating the scoreboard, think about what they win if they defeat culture. So there's like a list of suggestions for a reward if cadets can beat culture, like night out with the parents or a movie night or whatever. And here's how the
Oh.
game is played. In this brave challenge, the cadets will compete against culture to earn points, and at the end of all 3 activities, the team with the most points wins. During each game, the parent will roll a die for culture. The number rolled will represent the number of points earned in the game. Write this value on culture's half of the scoreboard. As you follow the instructions, the cadets will also earn points at the end of each game. We will write the value on the scoreboard under Brave Cadets. So winning at the end, whoever earns the most points wins. So game 1, Voice of Truth. The objective is Culture the Vulture is trying to trick the cadets. You will guide your blindfolded teammate through Tokitok and ignore Culture so that your teammate doesn't wander off and get lost.
Yeah.
I love setting it up as an us versus them. We have to fight culture. You're a cadet. You're in the military. You have a duty, and an authority is going to order you around, and you have to fight culture. Culture is explicitly now the enemy, not just an influence that might misguide you, but is actually the enemy. Yikes.
Yeah.
So the game is played where the parent is supposed to set up a room with obstacles, and team cadet is supposed to guide the blindfolded teammate through the obstacles, while the parent playing as culture screams out instructions to try to confuse the cadet. These are the words they use to confuse the cadet. And they lose a point for every object they bump into.
What do you think the intended consequence of this is on the children that consume it? It's to promote intolerance. It's to plant the seeds of intolerance in children, to start them there, to get them while they're young, plant the seeds of intolerance, so that growing up in a society, they ridicule people who try to be things that they aren't supposed to be in their view anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Stay the path. Don't get distracted by, the gays, the trans, the immigrants, the people of color, the disabled people. Like, don't get distracted by any of the other cultures that are out
Yeah.
there, that are not, the cis straight white biblical
This is
view.
the kind of shit that creates the stochastic terrorism that we see in the United States today. It's because of shit like this. It's because of trying to teach kids that you should be intolerant of somebody being something different than we say they are. This is horrible. This is
Yeah.
like Nazi propaganda level stuff for real.
So real quick, I'll just ask the last question here, and we'll start with Joe. What would you title this book?
I imagine the title's something like Elephants Can't Fly.
Elephants Can't Fly. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, AJ?
I mean, I think be yourself would probably not be, because yeah, that's not what they want. Like, they don't want you to truly be yourself. How about follow the truth?
Okay. Interesting. Wow, that's a. What about you, Ember? What would you think this book is called, or do you know what this book is called? Because earlier you thought you knew what the book was going to be. It sounds like.
Yeah, it turns out it's a different book than I thought.
Yeah,
I might call this Kevin's Catastrophe because I'm a sucker for alliteration.
So actually, Joe was really close, like almost right on. So it's elephants are not birds.
oh, damn, okay.
Wow.
I didn't think they'd be that on the nose about it. I considered that
Holy,
actually. Yeah.
we've been giving him too much credit. Like I keep saying, every one of us, YouTube creators and everybody else out there, we're trying way too hard. This is like, as Justin pointed out, this is Chat GPT rendered stuff. This is not thought out stories with like clever consequences. The propaganda has some effort to it, but that's it. The rest is just throw it together, whatever. There's no effort. They're just throwing shit out there.
Well, that's
Wowzers.
that's authoritarian strategy, though, right? Keep repeating the
Mhm.
lie until it's true. And that's that's the thing is it's easier to accept the lie than it is to understand the truth. And that they will repeat the lie until it's accepted, and if they have to do so violently or oppressively or however, that's how they'll do it.
So the book is written by someone named Ashley St. Clair, and she has 2 kids, one of which belongs to Elon Musk.
Oh, damn. Okay, that makes a lot of sense
Wow.
now.
Wow.
That's wild.
So there's a lot going on there.
Ashley St. Clair is a conservative author, influencer, and political commentator. She's known for her children's book Elephants Are Not Birds, published by Brave Books. Newsweek.
Fucking.
Yeah. So there you go. That's some crazy heavy propaganda stuff. I'll just bring it back again, and we'll mention it just one more time. The last episode of this that we did. So these are done in a saga, right? So this is book 5 of 6, and this one was the book 6 of 6. And the person who wrote this book, Paws Off My Cannons, also has another book they wrote called Hands Off My Guns.
Of course.
Isn't it the same book?
No, it's in like more of an adult, like regular book for like gun
So
rights.
they wrote Hands Off My Guns and then made a children's book version, Paws Off My Cannons.
Yeah.
Love it. No effort.
So if you want to see that video, you'll have to go check it out on my other content there.
if you go back to the beginning of this video, I imagine my face was much wider than it is now because my blood pressure is like sky high over this is the kind of shit that really pisses me off and gets me wanting to do things. In fact, I'm going to look into some things after we're done here. This is it's they say all this stuff and they put out their propaganda and they act like the fascists that they are. They behave like an authoritarian dictatorship here in the United States, and now it's what they're doing to children with this, though, that's so upsetting. It's the thing that pisses me off is who the target is of this propaganda. To be intolerant towards others, to tell children that that's how you need to be in order for things in order for white society to succeed, is you need to be intolerant of the things that culture says is okay, of whatever that culture may be. In this particular one, it was the trans community that they were demonizing, and they've tried to create a boogeyman out of since the beginning.
It's also worth noting, Ashley St. Cloud may ring a bell because she was in the news recently. Not only is she one of Elon's many baby mamas, but she's also broke. She was in national media because she's facing eviction because despite having the richest man on earth ostensibly paying her child support, maybe asterisk, she's also a successful author, as evidenced here, in addition to her other career as being a hot person on the internet.
Well, here's some Amazon reviews from the book. There's over 170 of them.
Oh, of course.
So we got Travis here who says, it's an awesome book. All my kids are grown, but I bought this book to support the author because I believe they are trying to make a difference in this messed up world.
So real quick, while we're talking about Amazon reviews, I can actually bring a person on right this second that can tell you that these reviews are not worth even. They're fake.
No doubt.
They're paid reviews. Almost all Amazon reviews are on stuff like this.
Yep. If you go to the Brave Books website and check the reviews there, they're even more blatantly obviously fake because they're just like one line reviews of like, perfect, awesome, amazing.
Cherry pick.
Yeah, I bought these books used and they're like virtually in mint condition, so I kind of assume that these were bought from like a misguided uncle or aunt given as a gift, and the parents were like, oh gee, thanks, and then they were instantly donated. We got another review here from Zoma, so clearly, like Joe pointed out, probably a fake review. But I saw this book at one of my friends' houses. It is what this crazy world needs right now. Amazon should be ashamed to triple the price of the book, buy it and support the author, but not from Amazon. This probably actually isn't necessarily a fake review because I don't think it would go against Amazon that way, but
but you also have to realize that the people that buy this kind of book know what it's going to be about. So the majority of them are going to approve of it because they already know.
Yeah, because of the author. Yeah.
Yeah, and the book, I don't know, the book on Amazon is only like $35 or something. It's not $95, so I don't know. Some of the people are complaining.
Well, also the price is set by the distributor, which in this case also happens to be the publisher, and they know they're not selling to real parents with real children. They're selling to Red Hat MAGAs who are like, I'm going to buy these for all my grandkids or just to support the author, even though it's not the author setting the price or making the sales. It goes to the publisher, and the author might get a royalty, maybe, depending on the contract.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the US website. It says it's $22 plus about $10 for shipping. So
I paid a lot for shipping. I didn't pay much for the book.
I don't know anything about Brave Books, but I would be interested to see if it's tied to some right-wing CPAC or
it's Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron actively went out, seeked out people, and asked them to write books.
Yeah, but
for his thing.
Kirk Cameron being the CEO or president or whatever his title is of this publishing company doesn't exclude it from that. Still,
and he tried to have story time with these books in libraries, but libraries wouldn't let him.
Kirk Cameron is the head of this because he's a recognizable face. I don't think it was his passion to be a publisher or anything.
Well, Actually, kind of yes. As you may recall, he's most famous these days for his evangelism in the Ray Comfort style of things. He was good buddies with Ray. He got big mad about drag time story hours, right?
Yeah.
And so he said, I'm going to publish my own books and do my own story hour. That was the point, is to be performative.
Yeah.
And then he went out of his way. There's a bunch of videos elsewhere on YouTube where various people have delved into why does he keep saying I've been canceled? No one will let me read a book in the library. It's bias. It's cancel culture. It's all this bullshit. They'll let a drag queen read a story, but they won't let me read my stories, the real good, wholesome American stories. But he's going out of his way to like not file the correct forms or fill them out incorrectly or demand hours the library's closed. And the library says, you did it wrong. Do it right, and we'll be happy to consider you. But we're not open then, or you didn't give us the paperwork or whatever. So he can say, I'm canceled, buy my books and support me. It's all bullshit. It's layers of it.
But the only reason that those positions held by Kirk Cameron are important here is because he's Kirk Cameron. Plenty of people hold those positions. It's who he is why this is being successful, right? And I don't, like I said, I'll look into it. I'm not going to say anything, that's factual.
Do you want these? Do you want these, Joe? I'll send them to you.
No, I don't want those.
Okay.
I have children. I wouldn't want them to get a hold of something like that.
Fair enough.
I would be better to leave Oxycontin laying on the floor than those books.
There you go.
The
I'm so happy I could invite Joe over here just to anger him.
I'm mad as hell now, and I got to go do another stream in 45 minutes.
Okay, well, let's start segueing our way out of here, and let's do so with something really ironic by reading an incredibly encouraging negative review about the book. So from L, this book, 1 star. This book is what goes wrong when we don't approach people with curiosity. So this is reviewed here in Canada this year. The idea behind this book and an opportunity to encourage kids to be their best and that you can be lots of different things. In other words, birds aren't the only ones who can sing. This demonstrates a lack of understanding of trans and LGBTQ issues, and this book is rooted in anger, posing as lighthearted. It's passive aggressive and doesn't do justice to the values and ideas it claims to be espousing, while also being offensive. If you enjoyed this book because you feel you have been attacked by culture vultures, I'm sorry, you haven't had a chance to speak with someone who won't vilify you and will instead welcome and talk to you to explain perspectives. This book demonstrates what goes wrong when we don't approach things with curiosity.
Yeah.
I think that's a great review.
Love it.
I'll click on
There's
helpful.
Hell yeah. There's more insight in that review than in the entire book.
Absolutely. And I'm also just glad to see that some people didn't fall for it.
Yeah, and given honest, unpaid reviews.
I want to thank you guys so much for coming here and doing this project with me and exploring this kind of thing, because it's one thing to see propaganda out in like when Trump is speaking to Fox News or something like that, but this is the lowest form of right-wing propaganda. It's literally trash.
Indoctrination for children. Literally for children.
Don't get me going again.
Yeah, Dave and I Dave from Captive Desk and I did a review of children's stories, and I did with him some from this one, because I also have another one which is geared towards teenagers, which is the Action Bible, right? It's all
Oh,
it's all
wow.
done in like
That's a beast.
It's a fake manga. I love it. I hate it, but I love it.
Chicken noodle soup for the Nazi soul.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I had no idea the rabbit hole I was entering, because I really thought that like Brave books might have been the end all be all of child propaganda, but AJ's really opening up my eyes here. It's like, no, if I spend 5 more minutes Googling, I'll find some other things.
But it's like they go in stages because they have to do it at the level where that child is, right? Like the first one I have was just more like baby stories, like toddlers that you get, at bedtime. And both of them were gifted by a family member, surprising, not surprisingly. But for my kid, who's never read either of them, he put them in a shelf somewhere, and they've been sitting there. Uh, but like that's the whole point of what they're trying to do. They start you with the very basic, where you don't see all the horrors of that you see in an adult Bible. Then they level up a little bit for the teenagers, and they do it in an engaging way that is, something that appeals to them, which is um, action books, for example, for the kids that are into that. And
Yeah.
then, you step up once you're an adult, you get the full blown Bible. But by that time, you're already so familiar with the stories, and you've been very slowly indoctrinated into it that you don't even have to question what's in the big book.
Well said.
So I think you're exactly right, and the fact that this book is targeted at young children and starts to plant the seeds of intolerance and hate, which will later be developed through other means that the propaganda machine puts out. This is, yeah, you're right. It's to develop, not just to start off and have a story that attacks culture and those things. It's not just to do that. It's to develop children into the hate mongers that are trying to take over this country. That's it, there's very much a awful, insidious goal to this.
All right. Well, with that, let's real quick. We'll just go around, and I want you guys all to say who you are, where you're coming from, maybe projects to check out or whatever. So go ahead, Ember. It's all you.
Alrighty, I'm Ember. You can find me here on YouTube at Better Than Ember, but I do a whole bunch of other stuff, including a morning show at 11 a.m. every weekday on my channel, good news on the Transpositions Weekly, and a whole bunch of other stuff. All my links for your convenience are at betterthanember.com.
All right. I like that ending. That was so infomercial. Good job.
I
I've had
love
to do it a
it.
few times recently. I've
I
been polishing.
Floor is yours, AJ.
Yeah, I don't have such a beautiful commercial prepared. So I just my channel is called Ways to Human, and I do content related to debunking biblical beliefs and ideas through science communication. And I have a bunch of shows coming up live with guests, and this weekend, which is gonna be in the past for you whenever you see this. I'm gonna be on Maya Atkinson's show. We're gonna, hang out, talk about science stuff and fun.
Awesome. Yeah. Joe, where are you coming from? What do you got going on?
Well, if you liked seeing me be angry here today, you can check me out over on the Kentucky Atheist, where we have a lot of community discussions about the harmful things that persist in religion and politics. And we do a lot of different things. Come over and check it out.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it was really funny at the end of the last recording we did with Mark Reed. He went first, and he ended his whole thing with, and I just like to have fun, and then everybody else after that just echoed that. They're like, godless engineers, like, yeah, I also just like to have fun. And they just kept teasing Mark Reed. So I'll just ask you guys to carry forward the inside joke. Do you like to have fun?
I do like to have fun.
Yeah,
I
like
like
having
having
fun,
fun
AJ?
as well.
Joe likes having fun.
I'll be the bad girl over here and say I don't like fun. I just sit here.
We're
Well,
judging like the characters in the book.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't like fun. I like to hate other people that are different than me.
Yeah, no, but this was a blast. That's why I came here. I came here because I knew it was gonna be a blast. So, angering blast, but it was fun anyway.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're all out there trying to fight the fight, right? Stop misinformation and spread better information. Um, so, and with that, I mean, the support that I get from everyone, like you guys, reaching back, help pull me forward. I want to thank you so much for coming and participating and subjecting yourself to this. um, and if anyone watching this video, if you like the content, obviously, hopefully you're not too hip on these books or whatever, but let me know in the comments. But I would also like to know in the comments, like, is there any other books you would like to see me assemble a panel of well-spoken people and have me read to them with my Canadian accent? Then we'll do it. All right. And with that, thank you everybody, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and go over to Better Than Ember and like and subscribe, and go over to Ways to Human and like and subscribe. And if you can get Joe on a good day, go over to the Kentucky Atheist and like and subscribe.